You've probably heard before about the order of operations. And these operations we're talking about are things like, well, obviously we're talking about math here, but addition is an operation. Subtraction, multiplication, division. And there are actually some other operations such as squaring a number and whatnot, but we're not going to deal with that right now. The four main operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. But what order do you have to do those in? Well, first we've got to talk about a numerical expression. A numerical expression is something like this: 2 plus 4, or 2 plus 4 minus 3, or you could even say 5 divided by 6 plus 8. These are all numerical expressions. They have numbers and they have operations. Notice there is not an equal sign. That would make it an equation. Now when something tells you to evaluate a numerical expression, that just means to solve it. So 2 plus 4 minus 3 is what? 2 plus 4. Can we just go from left to right like this? Well, we're going to talk about that in just a second. So we are talking about the order of operations. What order do we do these in? And if you haven't heard this yet, let me be the first to tell you, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. This is a common mnemonic, meaning a common memory trick that people use to remember the order of operations. Please stands for parentheses, and I'm going off my screen here. Excuse is exponents, if you have exponents. M is multiplication, D is division, addition for A, and subtraction for S. I don't know why I'm jumping back and forth between the actual operations and words for it, but please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now what's interesting about this is that my dear, multiplication and division, you actually do from left to right. You could say division first and multiplication second. And same with addition and subtraction. So let me give you a quick example. I'm going to erase this, and right in the center, let me show you this. If you have 2 minus 3 plus 4. Well, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You would think that you got to do the addition before the subtraction, but that's not true. Okay, because I put a red box around the Aunt Sally. That means, and sometimes I like to say it like this, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Because multiplication, division go together, addition, subtraction go together, and you just do those from left to right. So back up here, addition, subtraction, you don't do addition before subtraction. So 2 minus 3 would be negative 1. If that's confusing to you, don't worry, we'll talk about that later. Plus 4 would be, negative 1 plus 4 would be 3, positive 3. There, we just evaluated that. So let's take a look at some examples here. Here's a numerical expression on this side, and we want to know, does it equal the numerical expression on that side? So let's evaluate each expression. 14 minus 8, well, that would be 6. Equals, question mark, 2 plus 4, is that 6? Yes. Alright, so pretty easy. Ooh, this one looks a little more tricky. What order do I do this in? Now don't let this intimidate you. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Please, parentheses. Do you see any parentheses? Yes. So we need to do this first. Now, when we look inside of these parentheses, we've got subtraction and we've got division, right? Which one of those do we do first? Please excuse, no exponents, my dear, multiplication, division. Oh, got to do the division first. So this now becomes 3 minus, what's 2 divided by 1? 2. Okay, and 3 minus 2 now is 1. And so this whole parentheses becomes 1. So I'm going to rewrite this now. 2 times 1 plus 8 divided by 4. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. My dear. Multiplication and division come before the addition. So we got to do this first and this first. Let's see. 2 times 1 is 2. Keep this plus there. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And now we're finally just left with 2 plus 2, and that's 4. This whole thing up here is just 4. Okay? If I went through and did it a different way, let's try this. What's 2? 2 times 3 is 6. Minus 2 is 4. Divided by 1 is 4. Plus 8 would be 12. Divided by 4 is 3. You can't just go straight across like that. There's an order to do these operations in. So, what if you were going to an aquarium and it costs $13, $13.50 actually, per person? That's what that PP means. And there's a movie that you could watch there at the aquarium, and that costs $8 per person. So, let's say you're taking 5 people to the aquarium, okay? So, we're going to make a verbal model here. We want to know what the total cost is, okay? The total cost would equal, well, the ticket price for one, just to enter, the ticket price just to enter the aquarium, times the number of people. So times, I'm going to put P for people, the number of people that are going. Plus, our total cost would include not only this part, right? Not only the price for admission, but how many people want to watch the movie? Oh, only 3 of you want to watch the movie? Not all 5 of you will say are going? If only 3 want to watch the movie, well, it's going to be the price of the movie. So I'm going to put a $sign and I'll put a little movie, M-O-V, times the number of people that want to watch that movie. So times, now I can't use P for this because that is going to be different than this one over here. So I'm going to just say number of viewers. Okay. Now a true verbal model, guys, see how we're calling this a verbal model? A true verbal model would have actually used words in this. So this would have said price for admission, and this would have said number of people going, and this would have said price per movie ticket, and this would have said number of viewers, which it kind of does. So that's a verbal model. Let's take this now and set it up here with numbers. Total cost, I'm going to just put a big C. Total cost would be, well, the price is $13.50 times, I'm going to run out of room, aren't I? Times the number of people, we said 5, plus $8 times, oops, went to the other side, did it again. Let's just go back here. See if I can write a little smaller. C equals 1350 times the number of people going, 5, plus 8 times the number of people that wanted to see the movie, because the movie cost $8 and there were only 3. So check out what we got here. 1350 times 5 plus 8 times 3. Order of operations. We have to do the multiplication first. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. my comes before ant, right? So 1350 times 5. Not sure what that is. Let me see here. 6750 plus, and then we got to do the 8 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24. Now we can do the actual adding. 6750 plus 24 is 9150. That's how much money you're paying for the whole family to do this thing. Alright, a couple more examples. This right here says 9 times 8 divided by 2 minus 1 plus 7. So what I need you to do is I need you to see it like this. 9 times 8 is all by itself in the numerator up there. And so it's actually like it has parentheses. 9 times 8 divided by this whole denominator, which is 2 minus 1 plus 7. Right? Yeah, I keep doing that. So basically, you can just evaluate this numerator first and evaluate the denominator as second, and then you can take that and do the division last. So what is 9 times 8? It's 72. Divided by, well, 2 minus 1 plus 7. Now hold on a second. Do we do the plus first or the minus first? My dear Aunt Sally goes together. You just go left to right. Okay? 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. Plus 7 is 8. So I got 8 in the denominator. 72 divided by 8 equals what? It's 9. Because 9 times 8 is 72, so 72 divided by 8 equals 9. And last, I think last one here, we've got some brackets. These are called brackets, these are parentheses. Brackets basically work just like parentheses. So, we need to do whatever is in the brackets first. Oh, but there's parentheses inside the brackets. So we actually do those parentheses first. 3 minus 1 is 2. So now everything inside this bracket is 4 times 2 divided by 8. Okay, bracket, 3 divided by that bracket. Okay. Multiplication first or division? Actually, both those go together. You just go left to right. So 4 times 2 is 8 divided by 8 is 1. So now we've got 3 divided by 1 inside the bracket. Well, if 1's all alone inside the bracket, you don't actually need those brackets. So I've got a fancy little tool, or I can just erase those. Okay, so now we've got 3 divided by 1, which is itself 3. And that's that. Order of operations, make sure you're doing them in the right order or you're going to get the wrong answer.